And you people still don't get it. You don't get it. I voted for Donald Trump, black Trump supporter, voted for Donald Trump to do what he's doing. Did you expect Donald Trump to do this? Not all this. Oh, it feels so good. That's how I feel. Do you like Elon Musk? Yes. Well, yes. Yes, I do. I'm watching Democrats tell me, I thought Republicans like small government. Well, that didn't work, so we need Elon. That's why we got Elon, to help shrink it. Look what he's doing for the USAID. They're dropping their workforce from 10,000 to 300.
And saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day. And there's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt, which is, if you look at value, if it were a real estate balance sheet, the debt is tiny, but we still want to pay it down. Doesn't matter. We don't look at it as a piece of real estate. It's America. We're going to get it down through intelligence, hard work, and as Elon said, a word called caring. You have to care. By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money. So many of the men and women in this room, as an example, they pay tremendous amounts of taxes. And here are just a few examples of where your money was going before I came along. These are just some of the, just taken at random. Oh, there are much worse examples than this. I was just looking at them before the speech, and I can tell you they were much worse. And there are some that are horrible, but I don't want to really say them because they're very, very embarrassing to people. Very, very embarrassing.
Black History Moment. Black History Moment. Every last black that's on television seem to be all sucking off the Democrat teat. All of them give the same talking point, the same concerns, all Democrat approved. All of you Democrat approved. Well, Donald Trump, he really ain't helping black people. He really ain't helping black people. You brag one moment black people didn't support Donald Trump. So why are you upset Donald Trump ain't supporting black folk? You can't have it both ways, but he is. What Donald Trump is doing, he's eliminating the, are you a DEI hire or are you a hire? Yes, and people have a right to say that. I'm enjoying every single bit of this. Friday, I'm loving it. Trump kicking butt. You don't like it? Guess what? You didn't vote for Trump. We're out here protesting. We're protesting those. Did you vote for Donald Trump? No. So why am I surprised that you out here protesting Trump? You didn't vote for him. So of course you're not going to like it. But as for people like me, I'm loving it. Enjoy your Friday.
White people do not exist. And you know how I know that? Because white people don't call themselves white. They just know that you're black. They act white but call you black. So while you live with your blackness, when it's time for them to be white, now they burn in history books. White people like the comforts of whiteness but don't like being called white. And if you don't look closer, you'll miss it. They'll call themselves Republicans and Democrats. They'll call themselves Americans. They'll call themselves businessmen. The only time that white people have to think about being white is when you're in the room with them. You live with your blackness every day, and I'm not talking about institutionally. Through blackness is how you understand yourself. It is how you understand your community. It is how you understand your story. Blackness is beautiful, but you owe it to yourself to get deeper into your blackness, because I promise you, your identity did not begin when white people said it did. You'll call your brother a nigga. You'll call your sister a bitch. You'll call yourself a nigga. You'll call yourself a bitch. As long as it has a good beat to it, you'll call yourself a bitch 30 times in a row. Nigga, 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 bitch, 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 bitch. You'll call yourself an American. You'll call yourself a Native American. But the one thing you won't call yourself is African. You won't call your sister, who looked like a Nigerian woman walking around today, you won't call her African. You got the same eyes, the same nose, and the same lips as a Congolese person right now, but you won't call yourself African. Again, you did not spawn in America 500 years ago. You have been something long before white people said you were something. Peace out.
It tastes like a pork sausage. It don't really taste like anything but pork to me.
Well done, Mr. Lee. You have single-handedly brought together the whole of the UK again. Kudos on that. I do, however, have a few questions. Everyone knows hotel food isn't the greatest. Even in America, I've been a load of times, your food is mid. Number two, why would a sausage not taste like a sausage? I know Americans pump their food with E numbers and additives to make it taste something different, over season just to get rid of a taste of the additives. But I'm confused at why a sausage tastes like a sausage and a mushroom tastes like a mushroom. This just goes to show our taste buds are not the same. Americans have become so used to flavorings to boost for flavor because of all of the stuff that's pumped into your food. British food just isn't that bad, and I discount the fact of that bread that looked awful. So being in London, one of the culture melting pots, you should just not be able to rate hotel food. Also, please don't get fish and chips from a pub in London because that does not taste like real fish and chips. Go to a seaside town and get some in a newspaper paper bag, and heavy on the salt and vinegar. But just remember, Mr. Lee, you have a lot of Americans that live vicariously through you because not a lot of Americans will ever come to the UK. And a lot of Americans just think the food is bland. Well, some of it is, yes, but so is American food as well. I implore you to go out and try more food from more restaurants. Because in the UK we have fresher food. Because all food doesn't need to be over-seasoned, Americans. Okay? A sausage is meant to taste like a sausage with a light seasoning just to explore the taste better. Just learn from that. Peace.
Look, either this guy's on a sabotage tour or whoever's been recommending these places has not eaten in the UK whatsoever. He's been here for a week and 2 of his videos have been about beans on toast. Beans on toast. And to all the Americans in the comments saying, oh, so you're trying everything besides British food? Shut up, man. What's so American about Hennessy fried wings, bruv? He's here to try food in the UK. Not British food per se, but food in the UK. Come on, man. Who's recommending these spots to him, bro? There's about 15 spots in London alone, I can tell you, that are better than all the spots he's been to. Actually, shout out One Love. I know their food's actually busting, and to be fair, he did go Level Grill, which is actually fairly decent. But other than that, it's been a show from you. I won't be surprised if his next review is something like Greg's, man. And to the dumb Americans in the comments section, yeah? The UK is a melting pot for culture, yeah? You're not the only ones who have different cultures. In fact, you are more racist than us. What are you talking about? Just goes to show how stupid you lot are, because you probably think we munch crumpets in every single day, innit? And can anyone actually name me one thing that's actually American cuisine? They'll probably say Five Guys or something. And I seen someone say this tour is a make or break for UK cuisine. Nah, don't hold your breath, man. Look at the spots that he's going to. Mr. Keith, enjoy your stay, man. Greg's, Franco Manco, yeah, go to those spots, man.
Put your hands on me again. I'm gonna let you have it. Get out of the house.
Some of you may remember when I covered the story of the Hardees out of Georgia who were legally trying to steal land from a black farm owner. And you may remember this video that went viral.
Stay away from me. Risky would have hated you. Stay away from me. Risky hates you. He's dead. He's probably in.
You may also remember that without the knowledge of the women, he was making gynecological medical corn and posting it on underground websites and had covered everything up. Well, now I have an update on James and Janet Hardee. They're dead. Y'all remember that plane crash that happened on Saturday? Well, it turns out that the 2 people who were on board that were pronounced dead at the scene were, in fact, Janet Hardee and James Hardee. When I got the phone call yesterday telling me what had happened, I was in shock, I'll be honest. But now that I've had time to process it, all I can say is, good. This man was a monster. This man had enough money that he was never going to face consequences for what he did. And his wife knew what he had done and was complicit in his acts. I guess karma finally got you, Jay Hardee. But if you want a refresher on this story, it's right here in my playlists.
I just want to give a shout out to that white woman who decided to keep tabs directly on that story and to make everybody aware of specifically what was going on. Because again, I didn't know anything about this man, what was specifically happening and what was happening to that black farmer. I did not know any of these things. And it took for one of her own, right? It took for one of her own, better yet, his own, to, in a sense, do this. And this is what I try to explain to people time and time again, that in order for a lot of black people to understand that certain things are taking place or transpiring out here, a lot of times you have to have their own people to make them accountable, to bring awareness to this, to shine a spotlight directly on it. Because again, I didn't see anybody really talking about this at all. And for the fact that this is during Black History Month as well. You have a lot of people out here that want to tell Black Americans, like, oh, you know, this is the past. Why is there even a Black History Month? While we're talking about slavery, while we're talking about anything detailing around color, everything is all American and yada, yada, yada. But yet you had this Caucasian male and his wife actively using whatever powers and money that they have to take land from a Black farmer. Explain that to me. Isn't this the exact same thing that we were talking about before? But yet every single time we bring up our land being stolen or being displaced or lies or all of these things, people are, oh, that was so long ago. It doesn't even matter. How are you gonna make anybody responsible for something directly there in the past and yada yada yada? But yet here in 2025, you're actively able to see and hear that a husband and wife duo were doing this to a Black man, trying to actively take his land again that was not theirs to begin with. But because they have the money, because they have the power, these are the things that white Americans are able to do actively, still to this day. Again, we're not talking about the 1940s, the 20s, the 30s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. We're not talking about none of those time periods. We're talking about here in 2025. But the funniest thing is, even when you bring this up, people are like, oh, well, you know, it's bad that happened, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure the court systems and, you know, things will sort it out. And I'm pretty sure that they can make or break a deal. But this is not indicative of every single white American. Like I said before, it's indicative of until, you know, we have the names, up until we got a list, up until we got the families, up until we know that this is everybody on this side. And then this is everybody on that side. Up until that point, it's all up. That's the best that I got for you. Because again, Black people don't have the luxury to try to figure out who's good versus who's not. We don't have that luxury. We really just do not. We don't. A lot of you guys have varying history directly out here. Some of y'all want to acknowledge. Some of y'all want to skate by and walk the middle. Other ones just flat out just want to ignore it and just move on. Again, all of this is problematic because even amongst yourselves, you're not even on the same accord. You don't even want to agree on the same thing that, hey, some wrongs were committed. Let's just put everything out in open. Let's just put, you know, all the history out there, no matter how it would make it seem, no matter how it's going to make, let's just put everything out there just so that we can have a actual fresh start. I don't want to do that because you don't want to be called out for the hypocrisy and the madness that you have caused, for all of the chaos, for all of the destruction, for all of the crimes that you've done. You don't want to be called out for none of that. But as I told you guys before, the equalizer in all of this is karma. And lo and behold, that man is no longer here. The same one I was trying to actively in 2025, trying to steal, trying to take land directly from a Black farmer. On top of the fact of the many other crimes that he also committed against women, he's no longer here. So this is why I sat up there and told a lot of people that, you know, karma, for all intents and purposes, is that great equalizer. It may not happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen and it will take place. So for all intents and purposes, realistically, justice was served. I would actually like to state that if that Black farmer has any type of money, any type of power to do so, I would say that he should try to go and get that man's land because he's no longer here. He doesn't have a use for it. He doesn't have a need for it. Right? Right makes right. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated and listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.